Hello, I'm Alison Bale of Mind Insight, and thank you for joining me for this video blog on mindful self-compassion and how it can benefit you when you are dealing with chronic pain. And in this video I'm going to look at what mindful self-compassion actually is, how it can be of benefit, and share with you some ways to practice it in your everyday life. It was the writer Mark Twain who said that kindness is a language that the deaf can hear and the blind can see. It's a behaviour marked by generosity, by offering consideration, assistance and concern for others, without the regard for any praise or any reward in return. So what would it mean to turn that kind of behaviour towards yourself? How would it be if you could bring kindness to your own experience, to your own body, even when you are dealing with pain? Because you see, there's a common misconception that if you're going to make progress, you've got to be hard on yourself. You know, if you keep pressurising yourself, you'll stay motivated. Well, what if that wasn't the case? What if the research shows us that greater self-compassion and greater flexibility of thinking and a more open and accepting awareness of yourself can actually be one of the best ways to bring relief from chronic pain? And the thing is, you might find this quite difficult because you might have been taught that kindness equals softness and that equals weakness. Or you just simply might find it quite difficult to be kind to yourself when you're in pain. And yet, however challenging it is, studies suggest that mindful self-compassion can result in reduced pain, anxiety, reduced stress and reduced depression. And in the next section, I'm going to talk about just exactly what that might look like in practice. Learning mindfulness isn't easy. If it was, everyone would do it. You need patience and you need consistency. And the thing is, when you bring kindness to your experience, it's actually much easier to maintain the practice. And self-compassion can help you work with chronic pain in a number of ways. To start with, it just helps you to be more self-accepting. Accepting of the experience, however unpleasant. No one is asking you to like pain. But by practicing acceptance, you help yourself avoid some of the anxiety and some of the stress and sometimes the anger that can accompany the physical sensations. And you know, when we're more compassionate with ourselves, we also step back from our tendency to make judgments, particularly judgments that are harsh, critical, and quite often unhelpful. The thing is, you still make judgments. It's just you're better able to notice them and to not get quite so caught up in some of the unhelpful thinking that doesn't necessarily take you in the direction that you want to go. And one of the great things self-compassion and mindfulness can bring to you is you just stop believing everything that your mind says. You're not your thoughts and you're not your emotions, and when you can both notice that and you can let things go, you can reduce the additional stresses you place on yourself. And that in turn makes it easier for your body to devote time and energy to healing, because it can't do that when you're in a stressed state. Being mindful helps you appreciate that, you know what, you're human. You're not perfect and you're not broken either. You don't need fixing. Kindness allows you to be more at ease with the notion that you're doing your best and you're taking the steps that you can, and you're doing whatever you can to move in the direction of being that bit more relaxed in your body and your mind. It also makes it easier to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for what went on in the past and for things that you can't change. And self-compassion has been shown to help you be less depressed about things that have happened in the past and less anxious about those that might happen in the future. And in the next section, I'll tell you about 5 ways that you can start to practice bringing more self-compassion to yourself. Being kind to yourself isn't easy. We can quite often get caught up in the idea that if we're being kind to ourselves, we're actually being lazy, or that we won't improve, we won't make progress. But without care for yourself, it's actually quite difficult to be sufficiently at ease with yourself to even allow pain to reduce. And if you can't bring kindness to yourself, it's that much harder to bring it to anyone else. So here are 5 suggestions for ways you can practice mindful self-compassion in your daily life. Suggestion number 1 would be that you adopt a friendly tone of voice towards yourself. Get good at being your own cheerleader in chief. And if you're not sure what this would sound like, ask a really good friend what they would say to you. Or imagine how somebody who really loves you would talk to you. Option number 2 is to learn about how to balance this business of being accepting with being open to challenge. There's a sweet spot in between where we're challenged enough, say, to try something new, enough to get excited and energized, but not so much that we're overwhelmed. And each of us it's a different spot for each of us, and we have to learn to work out how that plans out for us. But get used to having your own back. Get used to working out where that spot is for you, where you're energized but not overwhelmed. Another way to kind of develop these skills in yourself is to practice compassion-focused meditation. And there's an example of this called the Compassionate Self. And you'll find a copy on my website. Please feel free to have a listen there. Another way to practice self-compassion is to learn to listen to your body and to respect its needs for sleep, for the right nutrition, for the right hydration. So drink that extra glass of water. Eat more fruit and vegetables. Commit to a regular sleep cycle. Because I tell you what, no therapy and no medication is going to do for you what you committing to looking after your health day in, day out will achieve. And one final suggestion is, it really is important to work out how to put yourself first. It's not selfish, it's essential. Carve out some time to regularly do something that you do just for you. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be reading a book, it could be listening to music, it could be going for a walk. Whatever it is, just pick something that you know provides you with a sense of completeness and a sense of calm, and make space for it, because it's important that you do that if you're going to look after others. Bear this in mind, the more you practice self-compassion for yourself, the more you work on being kind to your own mind and body, actually the more of it you can offer to somebody else. Thank you very much for joining me for this video. There's lots more information on my website, and I have an email you can sign up for, and you can follow me on social media. The website's www.mindinsight.online, and if you look for @mindinsight online, you'll find me on social media.